The youth of today. Often we just mean by that young people sometimes get a bit out of line and have their own ideas. But the teens in this video are in a whole different league. Today we're showing you 8 teenagers who did truly unbelievable and shocking things. We start with Carly Gregg, who at just 14 years old did something so unbelievable that she was sentenced to life in prison. No parole, no second chance. But let's start from the beginning. On March 19th, 2024, in Mississippi, Carly's mother, Ashley, found suspicious vape pens in her then 14-year-old daughter's room. When Carly walked in and realized her mother had discovered her secret, things escalated completely. Carly grabbed her stepfather's pistol and fired 3 shots. Her mother didn't stand a chance, but it didn't stop there. Carly even sent a message to her friend telling her to come over. When the friend arrived, Carly led her to her mother and said, cold as ice, "Ever seen a dead person before? My stepdad is next." Before that, she had already used her mother's phone to send her stepfather, Heath, a message, luring him into a deadly trap. When he opened the door, she shot him 3 times, hitting his shoulder, but Heath managed to wrestle the gun away and desperately called 911. In court, the defense tried to argue that Carly had been in a severe psychological crisis. But the prosecution insisted Carly knew exactly what she was doing. The jury agreed. The verdict? Guilty of murder and attempted murder. At just 15 years old, Carly was sentenced to 2 life sentences without parole. Next, we move to an anonymous teenager from England who recently made a shocking confession in a Vice documentary exposing a disturbing trend among British teens. He explained how he and many of his friends are involved in something called Deetsing. This is a new and highly illegal trend where stolen credit card information is bought on the dark web and then used to fund a flashy, extravagant lifestyle.
You can just go out, get as many iPhone 13s as you want, Rolexes, a better apartment, breakfast in bed.
The shocking part? It's mostly teenagers jumping on this trend, and they're not learning about it from the internet, but allegedly from school.
How do you find websites like this? Because I would have no idea.
I learned about it in school.
The method is surprisingly clever. Using the credit card owner's postcode, the teens figure out their victims' social and economic background by checking how much their houses are worth. If they hook a big fish, they go on shameless shopping sprees at the victim's expense, apparently without the slightest guilt.
One day less likely to report it, and also makes you feel a little bit less guilty because you know these guys are rich anyway. At the end of the day, like when they call up the bank and they say, "Oh shit, my money's been stolen," the bank is going to give them their money back, so it's best to just think of it like as a victim.
We continue with 2 anonymous girls from Washington, D.C. who did something truly unimaginable. This video shows the 2 underage girls stealing a car in broad daylight, not even trying to hide it. The owner, a humble Uber Eats driver, stands right there, desperately trying to stop them. He clings to the car's doorframe as the girls try to drive away. Seconds later, an ear-splitting crash.
She's stealing their car. You're stealing the car? Yeah, we called the cops. Call the cops. Call the cops.
The car had slammed into the sidewalk. The girls ran off, but for 66-year-old Uber Eats driver Mohammed Anwar, it was already too late. He didn't survive. Even more shocking, witness footage shows one of the girls running back to the car, not to help, but to grab her phone. The disturbing detail? Both girls were under 16 and didn't even have a driver's license.
What makes the crime especially disturbing? The identities of the alleged carjackers. 2 girls, one is just 13 years old, the other is 15 years old. They're not even old enough to drive, and police say one teen is a suspect in another carjacking from 3 months ago.
Later, they were charged with murder. Next, we have a group of seemingly harmless teenage gamers. In 2014, the media was buzzing about a hacker group called Lizard Squad. They called themselves the kings of DDoS attacks, meaning they were experts at overwhelming and shutting down computer networks. They had already successfully targeted gaming platforms like the PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, and games like Call of Duty and League of Legends. They became especially infamous for a Christmas Day 2014 attack that stopped millions of gamers worldwide from using their brand new consoles online.
Do you not feel guilty that you've taken so much enjoyment of gaming away from more than 100 million people over this Christmas period?
I'd be rather worried if those people didn't have anything better to do than play games on their consoles on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
The hackers were teenagers, some still minors. One of the youngest was just 13 years old. One of their most notorious crimes was a bomb threat against then Sony Online Entertainment CEO John Smedley. His plane had to make an emergency landing after the group claimed there was a bomb on board, a claim that turned out to be false. Another controversial stunt was a massive cyber attack on North Korea's internet, taking the entire country offline for days. The next case is definitely not for animal lovers. It's the case of 19-year-old TikToker Denise Fraser, accused of doing deeply disturbing things with her dogs, and not just once. Numerous clips online show her with different dogs and puppies getting far too close to them. And we're not talking about cuddling. Allegedly, she sold these videos online for money. Clips of her twerking in front of dogs were among the milder footage. From her social media posts, some thought she might just be making it up for attention. But in 2023, actual video evidence surfaced, so disturbing that police refused to even describe what was shown. Fraser was arrested and now faces up to 10 years in prison. Now to a case that shows just how far Hollywood glamour can drive teenagers. The Bling Ring was a group of teens who, between 2008 and 2009, broke into celebrity mansions stealing jewelry, designer clothes, and other luxury items worth over $3 million. Their victims? Celebs like Paris Hilton, Orlando Bloom, and Lindsay Lohan. The group was obsessed with celebrity gossip and the lifestyles of the rich and famous. Inspired by magazines and paparazzi photos, they used publicly available information to figure out when their targets wouldn't be home. They broke into Paris Hilton's house multiple times simply because they found the key under the doormat. The spree ended when police started tracking them down. A key lead came from security cameras that caught them during a burglary. Their arrest became a full-blown media circus and, of course, inspired a Hollywood movie about their crimes. Finally, we come to the shocking case of Vernon Woods Jr. He's currently in a Michigan prison, where he'll remain until at least 2028. In 2021, after an argument, Woods poured an accelerant on his older sister, Kenyaina Daniels, and set her on fire, leaving her with severe injuries.
My understanding is 50% of her body is severely burned. The victim in this case is still battling for her life.
After the attack, Woods was on the run for weeks before police finally caught him. To this day, it's unclear what exactly drove this young man to commit such an act. So, which case in this video shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe.